Welcome guys to Venice. Venice is known to be one of the most touristic and beautiful destinations in the entire world, and it's been on my bucket list for a very long time. So in this video, I'm going to be exploring Venice for the next 2 days to find out if Venice is really worth the hype. And welcome guys to Venezia. I took a 2-hour train to get here all the way from Florence, and I'm super excited to be exploring this beautiful city. But first, we got some heavy bags to drop off and to check in. So the thing is, I'm traveling Europe for the next 30 days and I'm trying to keep things as much as possible to a budget. And so I'm staying in hostels, and this right here is one of the nicer hostels that I'm staying in. Oh my god! Woo! And that right there is the reason why thousands of tourists flock into this beautiful city. You've got the Grand Canal, beautiful buildings and boats everywhere. Oh my god, I'm literally living James Bond right now. First impressions, I'm really impressed. So the hostel actually isn't in Venice. It's on the main island where Venice is off. Guess that's the reason why they're able to keep the prices of accommodation so cheap, because if you're staying in Venice, you'll have to drop some serious cash. So in order to get into Venice, I had to take a train that's about a 10-minute long train, and it costs €40. And then when you walk out of this train station, that's the view that you get. So here's my goal for the start of my time here in Venice. I'm gonna jump onto one of these guys, which is called a water bus. And a funny story, there was a tourist who was selling her day pass. A day pass will go for like €21. She sold it to me for like €5, and it's valid all the way till tomorrow 10 a.m. And she showed it to me like it's legit. So I can get onto these buses as many times as I want. A one-way ticket is actually €7.50. Got quite a deal. Through that whole boat ride, I had like the biggest grin on my face. So I got a little bit of a tour of what Venice looks like from the water. So beautiful. It's no secret that Venice is packed with tourists, and right now I've just made it to the top of the Rialto Bridge, which is this beautiful stone arch bridge here in Venice, and it's very popular with tourists. It's actually the oldest bridge that spans over the Grand Canal, and when you take a look at the view, super beautiful. But with all the tourists, it's time to go. I think you could say Venice is a shopping hub. There's loads of shops in the alleyways selling all sorts of souvenirs, clothes, vintage props, and these really cool looking glassware products. That is the most interesting painting of Mona Lisa I've ever seen. Hello, sir. Sir, do you know where the Saint Basilica? No. So not too far off from the main touristic hotspots, and you find yourself walking through these really cool, charming, narrow streets that are much quieter. Also, I am so fascinated by the way, like, look at this. And actually, the way people access their houses is just using boats. If, for example, someone needs to go to their house over there, they have to use a boat to get there. So when you're in Venice, you'll see a lot of these black boats. They're called gondolas, and back in the day, the rich used to use them to get around to their houses, to their workplaces. And nowadays, for just €80, you too can find yourself being on one of these gondolas and making your way through the beautiful channels of Venice. Also, it's a very romantic thing to do. So while getting lost through the alleyways of Venice, there's one thing that's really stood out to me, and I think it's so cool. So you have these bridges that go over the channels and lead to people's apartments. And a really fun fact for you guys is Venice is basically a set of 100 islands. It's an archipelago, and it's connected by about 426 bridges. If that ain't a fun fact, I don't know what is. Hello, sir. Can you please tell me where the St. Mark's Square is? Sir? Sir? So rude. So Instagram brought me here to the most beautiful bookshop in the entire world, and not only does it look so vintage, but what's really interesting about it is that a lot of these shelves have been elevated. Some books have even been put in bathtubs and gondolas, and that's because this bookshop frequently gets flooded. In fact, you can see water all over the floor right now, and there's even books over here like this that have been destroyed by the water. They even have cute little kitties. Kitty, kitty, kitty. So the cool thing here is that the books that have been absolutely destroyed, they just like piled them up and made this aesthetic place where you can take some really cool Instagram photos. Real quick, this video has been sponsored by Artlist and ArtGrid. These are the go-to libraries for professionals to get access to some of the best royalty-free music and stock footage so that you can use them in your video projects to tell better stories. Music for me has always been a huge part to bring together my edits for my videos, and thankfully for me, Artlist is that place where I can find the perfect song that will fit well in my videos. And if you're like me and you find yourself on location for like 2 days and you don't have time to shoot drone shots or time lapses, well, that's where ArtGrid has been super helpful to find some of the highest quality visuals to bring together my vlogs. And the best part, none of my YouTube videos can be claimed. If you're a content creator like myself, then do yourself a favor and follow the link below to get 2 months free of Artlist and ArtGrid so that you can start taking advantage of the amazing stuff that they have. And with that, let's get back into the video. Last evening, I made my way here to the St. Mark's Square and there was a lot of people. So one of the advantages of waking up early is you get to beat the crowds, and there's not that many crowds here right now. So Venice, besides being Instagram goals, is also a place of historical significance, and right now I'm about to enter that church right over there, which architecturally, wow, that's a mouthful, is one of the more unique churches here in Italy. All that is a square that's been surrounded by the same wall. It's so beautiful. And then this church here, wow. So it's Sunday today and this church service going on, and you can hear the hymns just echoing all over the building. It sounds so angelic. Alright, let's talk food. So one of the things that you'll quickly realize in Venice is that prices for everything, including food, are threefold, especially if you're next to the Grand Canal. So I find that when you walk away from the tourist hotspots, or for example the Grand Canal, food starts getting a lot cheaper. So for example, at the Grand Canal, a pizza was like 20 euros. I walked in a little bit and I found a pizza place that was fairly good for like 10, and this is just 2 euros. Ice cream for 2 euros. Beautiful view. What more could you ask for? So the history here in Venice is quite interesting. Right behind me is a building called the Doge's Palace, where Doge was a family that used to rule over Venice. They ruled for 1,000 years. And right over there somewhere is a bridge called the Bridge of Sighs. So the bridge connects the palace to a prison, and back in the day the palace used to also be used as a court where prisoners would be sentenced and they would have to walk through that bridge to get to the prison. So you can see right over there those small peeping holes, and so the prisoners, while walking from the palace to the prison, would look through those peeping holes, and that was the final view that they had of this beautiful city. And so because of that, they would sigh before they entered prison, hence the name, the Bridge of Sighs. I would definitely sigh if this was going to be my final view. Also, this might be a little bit of a hack, but there's another bridge right over there which is packed with people, but then here I am looking at it from the other side, a much better view, and there's no one else here. These are like the coolest masks I've ever seen. In Venice, you'll find a lot of shops like this that sell really fancy masks, and that's because Venice is the home to Carnival. So Carnival is an event that takes place annually before Lent, and way back in the day, everyone from Venice was invited to attend the event. So whether they were poor or rich, they could attend, but the reason why they would wear masks was so that they could hide their profile and everyone could interact with anyone they wanted. The evening has fallen and you guys know what time it is. It's time for Aperitivo here in Italy. And so because Venice is on the sea, they have this snack. It's called a cicchetti, and it's basically like Spanish tapas, but it's fish based. So we've got salmon, scallops, sardines, a little bit of different fish that I don't even know the names. And then we have this bread, and basically you put all of this on the bread. In some places you'll find that they serve it to you directly on the bread, but this is a way better deal because we got this at like 12.50 per person, whereas if you got a cicchetti on bread, it would be like €2 for this one piece. And I got myself a Hugo, so let the aperitif begin. So this one here is actually a full sardine. And honestly, I don't even know what to expect, so I'm just gonna go for it. Definitely very fishy, but I like it. The salmon one, out of all of them, is my favorite. Wow. My mind is blown. The scallop is so fresh, I literally have to scoop out the meat from it. The fish from it, the scallop from it, the scallop from the shell. Oh, look at that goodness. Get a little bit of lemon on it. Bon appetito. Oh my God. Alright, it's time to conclude. Is Venice worth the hype and should you visit? So for starters, Venice is very beautiful and it's a destination that you have to see once in your lifetime. But I would say that Venice isn't that great of a destination for solo travelers. For me, I found myself getting bored after a while, especially since Venice is so small that you can get around in pretty much one day. It's a great destination if you're on a honeymoon or a couple or you're traveling with friends and family. Finally, since Venice is quite pricey, if you're willing to spend, then you can definitely have an amazing time. All in all, I think Venice is definitely worth the hype and I see why thousands of tourists flock to that destination. So with that guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new here, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.